Hi everyone, Mandilake here. Happy festive season, by the way. It's December. I hope you are ready for December 2024. Don't blow it because you're going to need the money in Jan for the school fees, baby clothes, uniforms, and all of that. That all speaks to the importance of being able to manage our finances properly and accordingly. And that does not come naturally. For most of us, we have to admit that is not a natural skill that we either are born with or we get raised with. We have to work in order for us to be able to get a hang of things when it comes to that. And that's the reason for me deciding to come up with the concept of Finance Lit, where we'll be talking about the importance of financial literacy. I want to talk to people who are in their entry level when it comes to the job market, people who are in the middle class, in terms of us understanding how we can manage our finances in a manner that ensures prosperity in the future. Prosperity looks different for each and every one of us because our financial goals are different. But I do think all of us do need some kind of guidance in order for us to get a hang of our financial affairs. One of the things I want to talk to today is the importance of us understanding as those who are in corporate, those who are employed, who have an entrepreneurial flair within them. You know that you have a heart to run your own business. You don't know where to start, and at times we just go with trends, and sometimes we don't understand because trends come and go. And if you're not ready for a trend, jumping on it is not always the best advice. But it's very important for us to make sure that we are well prepared for each and everything we involve ourselves into, it's mostly when it involves finances. So today, I want to talk about why it's still relevant and very important for us who are employed to make use of investment in property so as to grow our wealth, to actually accumulate wealth for ourselves. And I know that this is one of the contested terrains. It's mostly when it comes to the time we're in, where there's a lot of things that are growing faster than what the property market has been offering. I'm not your financial advisor. I want to put that disclaimer up front. Number two, I am not a real estate agent either. I am an employee just like you and me, but I just had the exposure. I had the privilege of being exposed to the finance world from the beginning, from the start of my living university, going into the job market. I got to train in an audit firm. I got to see different businesses from that space. I got to work for the South African Revenue Services, and that has enabled me to understand taxes and their impact in our lives. And it's not about being a tax guru, that we need to understand the importance of the tax effect in our finance world, but it's about us understanding how it affects my personal capacity, how it affects my business, so that I can be sure, first, to comply, also to take advantage of the provisions that are there to enable me to gain wealth. Because you must understand that the finance world is governed by laws, just like any other law, any other environment. Medical field is governed by laws. Legal field is governed by laws. And you can look at right across life, there are laws that govern each and every sphere. And therefore, it's very important for us to understand how those laws work and how do we ensure that we play within the ambit of those laws. Sometimes we see laws as boundaries that limit our enjoyment. Yet at times, laws ensure that we are safe. That's why even in the road, we actually get to be fined for not putting on a seatbelt. It's not really about the government being unnecessarily strict, but it's about them ensuring that we arrive home safe. Same thing about the finance laws. Finance laws ensure that we are governing our financial affairs in a manner that ensures that we will have something in our pocket when we come either to the end of our employment or when we get to the point where we retire. Um, we can retire early depending on how much exposure we have in our finances. So I want to talk about the importance of then using investments in the property field or in properties, not just your own personal primary residence, but also making use of the investment properties. Investment properties are any other properties that are outside the one that you're staying in. And I will not talk a lot of tax terms. I will just make it very simple so that we all can understand it. Firstly, when you buy an investment property, firstly, you are tapping into one of South Africa's spaces of need. I'm saying spaces of need because for those who do not know, South Africa is plus minus 3 million houses in deficiency when it comes to its citizens. So that means we are constantly needing more houses in order for us to accommodate South African citizens. And the government is doing their best to ensure that they build houses for those who are homeless and those who are coming out of house or out of their own homes where they were staying with parents, and now they are actually gaining independence, and now they go out there to build their own lives. So it means that there will always be a need to house people, and we know that whenever there's a demand, there will and there's less supply, because the government at this particular point in time can only build 10% of the need that there is in each and every year, up to 300,000 houses in a year, in order for them to house South Africans. So that means if you then buy a house and then you rent it out, you enable the government to meet its needs or to meet its objectives, and therefore they incentivize you for that. So one, you are definitely in a space that will never run out of business because there will always be a need. That's the first thing. Therefore, the increase in the prices of houses is guaranteed over a long term, because whenever there is less supply than there is demand, prices are bound to go up. That's the first thing. Secondly, is the one space that enables you to access money from the bank at the lowest cost, that is cheapest interest that is charged on the loans that are given to buy houses. What do I mean by that? Because when you take a bond, we call it a secured loan. The bank is more willing to give its customers bonds because they know that it's a secured loan. Should the customers default in terms of repayments, the bank has an option of repossessing the house, resell it in order for them to regain the outstanding amount. Whilst with other assets, they don't have the same liberty and the same privilege. Therefore, it enables you as a consumer to be able to access debt cheaper. And this is the cheapest debt you can ever get. And I want you to underline the importance of this cheap debt, because most of us have been raised to understand that debt is bad. Not all debt is bad. This debt is the debt that can start you off in a business that you did not think existed, because you know a business to be going to CIPC and registering a company or buying one from off the shelf. But I want to tell you the importance of this one, because you can run this business in your own personal capacity and it can grow your wealth with very minimal contribution from your side. What do I mean by that? Firstly, when you go to the bank and you ask them for a loan in order for you to buy a second property that you can rent out, first of all, the bank has the potential of giving you 100%. I've gotten funded 100% of all the bonds that I've received from the bank for all my investment properties. That means that I don't have to cough out anything in order for me to start that business. Secondly, as you repay that bond, which you get from the bank, your tenant is coughing out most of what you are repaying to the bank. The property is yours, but somebody else is staying in there and they are helping you repay the bond that you owe the bank. Whilst you are doing that, over the years, the value of that property is also increasing. Now, for those who have done accounting, they will understand that in accounting equation, what we call equity, the value of a business, is measured by taking the asset, you minus the liability, then you get how much the business is worth. So over time, the value, which is the value of the asset, increases whilst your debt is decreasing with very minimal contribution from your side. That means your equity is increasing over time. And this is a very nice business because you don't have to be directly involved in the daily activities of this business. You are working, you're still earning your money, and therefore your equity is just increasing, which you can get by going to the bank and refinancing. We will talk about that someday, not today. The next thing that this opportunity actually provides you is the fact that it enables you to reduce the tax bill that you pay on a monthly basis as an employee when you look at your pay slip on a monthly basis. I'll make an example. If you're earning, let's just take a round figure of a million rands. We know that plus minus 30 to 40,000 of that income goes to your taxes. And if you are only an employee, that money continues to go to the government, and it does the things that we get to enjoy, like building roads, building hospitals, and all of that. But it's nothing that we have contribution towards, right? And I know that most of us feel like we would want to do something that we can control with the money that we give to the government. And guess what? When you invest in an investment property, you get to claw back on that tax bill that is against your remuneration on a monthly basis. I'll tell you more about this because of you get to receive more tax deductions as you actually get to pay for the investment property that you are actually financing with the bank's money, and you are actually receiving rental income from the tenant, and you are actually increasing your equity on. We're going to actually have more of these so as to enable each one of us to understand how these things that I've mentioned link as you grow your wealth. Because the main important thing is that after doing this thing 5, 10 times, you no longer need a lot from the bank. You actually get to use your own money. Remember, you coming from just earning your salary and you had nothing else besides the salary that you have and probably the place that you stay in. But you can grow that in 10, 15 years' time. You could have 5 to 10 to 15 properties in your name that are continuously giving you rental income on a monthly basis, first of all. Secondly, they are increasing in value and they are decreasing in liability to the point you could actually get to paying all of those properties using the very money that they generate without you having put in a whole lot more. We're going to build on these as we actually get to chat with each other on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, but we definitely look forward to growing with each other. Hope you will actually ponder on these and see how do these affect you as an employee. And I'm not leaving out business people either, but we will talk about the pros and cons of that. Hope you will have a great one and enjoy the festive season. Mandilaka here. Thank you.